All right. We've got some fantastic news. You can kind of say we've got a new setup. You've seen it in some of the past episodes. I'm going to be traveling for about a week and a half, 2 weeks here. So we're unsure of the recording schedule, but still going to be trying to do some stuff as we go. But we've been undergoing some big changes. We've had some more people join Resident Skeptics, and on the back end helping us get social media and advertising and write articles. It's given me the time that I needed to focus on building these desks. Very happy with the way that they turned out. We can now kind of see each other and the camera at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't see the desk super well. I tried to frame it so that you guys could see, but I mean, he did an absolutely fantastic job on the desks. We have no more wires are everywhere. Nope. These are not obstructing our faces quite as much, so you can see both of us.
Got rid of the arm mounts because they were just too big.
They were too much
for this space.
And we've been working really hard on lighting. So if you've noticed in some of our episodes that the lighting's been like, wait, what happened? Why did this light die? What happened? That was us making tons of mistakes, but I think we have a setup that we really like. We're not done yet either.
Still more. I don't have any of them near to me, but we're going to be getting sound panels all up behind us. I do have 2 other tables. We have these 2, but I've got 2 others that I've made so that we can have up to 2 more guests on.
Because I was going to say, why would we need more panels, Connor?
That is a good reason. We are getting guests on this podcast. We have a ex-Army sniper and police officer that is coming on. We have somebody else coming to talk about sex trafficking. Who are some of the other guests that we have coming on? Yeah,
so like Connor said, we have someone who's Army who was an ex-sniper, also is now a retired police officer. We're having another police officer on that was also in the Army, and is still currently a police officer. We have this might be one of my most favorite guests we're having on, whether you're liberal or conservative or moderate or somewhere in between. Everyone cares about sex trafficking, but not a lot of people know about it.
Or what they can do about it.
Exactly. So I'm super excited that we are having the founder of an incredible ministry come on that helps girls who have gotten out of sex trafficking. So she's going to talk a lot about that. I know she has an amazing story herself. And she's also trying to work more on the state level as well to help try to get protection and try to figure out some of this sex trafficking stuff. So that's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a super informative interview. I don't think I'll be speaking most of the time. We'll just be asking questions. So we're really excited about that one. We have a couple of other guests from some more national organizations that we're really excited about having. We'll leave those as a surprise. That's why I'm not going to say too much, but we have definitely put the pedal to the metal, pretty much all thanks to Connor. Honestly, it's how we got this podcast started, where Connor is just like, do you want to do a podcast? And I was like, sure, okay, fine. And I just keep getting these little messages like, hey, I got a soundboard. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, hey, I have mics. Yeah,
just kind of started gathering equipment.
Yeah. And then one day he's like, okay, so when are you going to come over and record? And then we had summertime come and I got sick. You got sick. We were both traveling. And so things kind of just went down. And then Connor, per usual, was like, hey, so we want to do more. We need a team. So I was like, okay, we're going to get a team. And everything that you're seeing is a result of not just us in front of the camera, but a lot of other people working behind the scenes to make this happen.
For sure. Yeah. So, all this stuff that we realized that we were not being able to put enough effort and energy into the podcast itself to provide quality content. And it's like the only way that we're able to get past this is if we bring other people on board to help us manage ourselves, our content, social media, and everything else it took. So this what we're getting to is very much a team setup.
Yeah. We have a whole team. It's a small team, but it's enough of the team that we need and people that we trust. We literally now have a marketing manager that leads us around like small children because we cannot manage our own schedule apparently. So it's very helpful to have her doing that.
Yeah, and she's also the one that's been getting us a lot of the interviews and guest speakers that we're going to have on. Very excited to have them, but we couldn't have done it without her.
And we're going to be doing a lot more articles. We're doing mostly opinion articles because it takes a lot to do journalism. Yes. So we have opinion articles. We are also bringing on contributing writers. And so the thing with the contributing writers that I'm very excited about is that they're going to give different perspectives. Right now, it's just me writing. We also have my sister writing as well, also a very good writer. But we're going to start having other people on. And the thing that we put at the bottom of each of our articles is like, hey, you know, the views in this article don't necessarily represent us. And that's actually a good thing, where they can have their own opinions on something and that you can kind of get a broad range of people. Unless you're probably not going to get someone who's more leftist or liberal wanting to write for us. Probably the farthest left you're going to get is probably moderate.
Moderate libertarian. But the thing is we will take them. Like I would take most people and their opinions, even if it was complete in contrast to my views, as long as it's not coming into like harming people. We will not have that on. But you know, if the views are just completely opposing, because one of the things that we wanted to do when starting this podcast was be able to have that conversation and not have like the screaming fits that you see on social media, on YouTube. And we're not really looking to have gotcha moments and zingers and catchphrases. And we're not looking for, and I know he doesn't do it, but we're not looking for Ben Shapiro destroys. That is not what we want.
I don't think we have enough facts and logic to be complete.
No, if anything, I'm going to be getting destroyed, because this is a learning process for us, not just doing the podcast itself, but all these topics that we are wading into. And, you know, as each podcast, we're familiarizing ourselves more and more with stuff, whether it's the judicial system or the way that our government is completely laid out from top to bottom, president to state representatives, and, you know, police work and all these other areas that we just want to get involved in. And so it's not just news that we want to cover, but cultural, and not just cultural topics, but we want to have interesting conversations with people.
Yeah. And I think that with the guests that we're going to have on, we're going to have some really great conversations. We're going to learn a lot of new things, and and we want you guys, as cliche as it sounds, we want you guys to learn with us. And these are definitely going to be guests that you're going to want to share about with your friends and give you some action points too of what you can be doing or what you could not be doing, depending on whether you agree or disagree. So we're just really excited. There's a lot of great stuff going on, and we just want to let you guys know about it as you look at these different changes. I'm kind of looking at all the lights that you guys can't see.
There's a whole setup here.
Yeah,
I could grab the second camera and kind of just.
You probably could if you wanted to.
Turn around a little bit. The room is like halfway. It used to be my office and personal room for video game entertainment, and now I'm moving all of it out to the bedroom at this point. This is going to become the permanent studio. So there's a bit more work to do. We'll probably do like a full tour once we get everything fully set up, because what you can't see out of the frame is a bit of mess.
It is a little bit messy. We have been trying out different lights. Some that worked, some that didn't work. We have had technical difficulties. We have had all the different stuff, but we are still here. We have been putting out some kind of short content because we're not big on zingers, but I do like the short content just because sometimes you just want to hear something short.
Yeah,
it
gives people a taste. I mean, that's how I find a lot of the stuff that I subscribe to now. Is you go looking through. I mean, for me, it's just YouTube Shorts, to be honest, at this point, because I'm not really on other things. But I know Instagram and Facebook have their reels and stuff, so you get a little bit of a content from it, and hopefully it's good enough or bad enough to help you make a decision on if you would like to follow it.
Yeah. So that's why on Instagram, we're probably the most active on Instagram at the moment. We've already been called some fun names, which we're excited about.
Hey, you know what? I'll take the criticism, because it's like, I know I'm learning.
Well, no, it's not. No, it's not criticism. It's just being mean. It's just being mean. Like, that's what it is. Like, if someone calls you a moron or an idiot, or it's like, that's not constructive criticism. That's you just being
I didn't
mean.
say it was constructive.
No, it's the criticism. I would take, if someone put in an Instagram comment, like a really, like, just a very good argument, I would respond to that. But most of the stuff we've gotten there is that you're stupid, you're a dumbass, you're spreading lies. And, so if you have something constructive, I'll respond constructively. But if you're just gonna call names, I have no use for it, because the only way I can match that energy is to call you a name. And I don't want to call you a name. I don't know you. I don't want to call you that. So that's just my take on it.
That's just what it is. And I mean, at the end of it, we're not telling people, we're not telling you, our listeners, our followers, we're not telling you to just take our word as scripture.
Yeah.
Investigate, explore for yourself. We are more so just trying to bring some of these topics that we think are important to the forefront, or to find people that are interesting to just have that conversation. It expands your knowledge. If you listen to any other podcasts out there, you learn a lot, whether it's Joe Rogan or Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, maybe Steven Crowder.
Steven Crowder's kind
it's
of
more
a
of a comedy show,
yeah, it's kind of a hit or miss.
Sprinkled in with stuff. And we've got our opinions on that stuff. I think the very first podcast that I ever listened to that got me into the podcast world was this one called Lore, done by Aaron Mahnke, and it's all like these cryptic tales, kind of ghost stories, but they're urban legends, and he's got somebody that does help him with the research, and he does just a phenomenal job doing storytelling. And that's what initially brought me into the podcasting world, and eventually to these other ones that aren't just for entertainment, but they're also like education. And I think that was when I was like, wow, you can really do a lot with a podcast. I would like to do some of that as well. So I think getting to the point that we're having guests on who are more interesting than ourselves is a big win, not only for us, but also for anybody that is following and is going to see our content, because it's getting them exposed to somebody else's opinion, somebody else's field of expertise, somebody else's life experience. And to me, that is just a fantastic way to go about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I like what you said, that, you really have to do some of this research for yourself, because one of the reels we put out, a short video, was about menstrual cycles and how the vaccine could potentially mess with these for some people. And many women have been saying this, but they were told, no, this is impossible. This can't possibly happen. And so I posted that. We got some negative stuff, but whatever, it did really well. And so in the stories in the Instagram, I put the reel, and then I also linked out a study, and I said, in case you're interested, and you don't just take my word for it, go look at it yourself. And so it just gives you information. If you disagree still, that's fine. I don't know why you disagree, especially if there's a good study on it, but that's up to you. And so we just want to give you guys the tools. And so we obviously, I'm very opinionated. So yeah, I'm going to say my opinion. Of course I'm going to do that. Go ahead, try to stop me. I'm not going to go soft. And there's stuff, when you make a mistake, you have to have enough guts to own up to if you've made a mistake and an error in your information. And so we're not shy about doing that either.
Nope. I think I've even made some corrections in our initial podcasts where we just outright had something blatantly wrong. It wasn't like we misspoke. It was just like, nope, that was the wrong number, wrong fact, wrong statistic. Yeah. Not even close. And I would go back in and make some of those corrections.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that type of stuff, it's important to us. It's important for us to be as accurate as we can, holding to our beliefs, but also remaining open that we don't have the answers to everything, and our opinion is probably not the best on everything. So there's room for us to grow, room for you guys to grow. And we are really looking forward to the journey with everybody.
We are. And the one last thing I'll put out there is the podcast isn't just for growing. That's part of it. That's all good, fun, whatever. But also it's about us joining the fight and saying that, it's time for you to speak up. It might be on a podcast. It might be in another capacity. But, we just got really tired of, you can take being called names only for so long before you're like, wait, can't I say something back? Yeah. And this is a good way to say something back, because you can actually hear my voice, and you kind of know how I'm feeling, and hopefully you can tell through the camera. But of course, there's some people that you can say the facts as nicely as you can, like, hey, a boy is a boy, and that's transphobic and offensive enough, and you're like, okay, there's nothing I can do there. But we're here to join the fight, and we're here to speak the truth, and hopefully to encourage you to speak the truth as well.
Yeah, no, I would agree to all of that. And I think part of getting to listen to Jordan's opinion or my opinion or our guests' opinions is that this is not a newsroom. This is not, you have 60 seconds to make your case. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, especially when you're coming to such important and heavy issues, that type of stuff takes explaining and it takes time. And that's one of the reasons I think we love the podcasting world so much, video, audio, all of it, is that you have time to explain yourself and to make sense and to sit there and process it, because you might be faced with something that is counter to your beliefs.
Yeah, because you and I, we have different beliefs, and we definitely share core values, which is why we're doing this. But there's more secondary things that we kind of clash on. So to be able to have an open and honest conversation and still even walk away saying, well, I still disagree with you, but whatever, it was fun. Yep. And I have something to think about. That's also good too. It's the art of conversation.
Which is what we want to encourage other people to do.
Right. Which is why we're having guests on. We're open to guests that disagree with us too, and to talk to them as well. I'd be open to that.
Absolutely.
Anyone that's like pro-choice would love to have you on and talk about it. That would be fun for me. Not to obliterate you or to try to I'm going to destroy their points, but really ask you some challenge your position, but ask you specific questions about your specific pro-choice position so that we can have an honest, more intimate conversation, as opposed to saying, well, all pro-choicers believe X, and just being able to talk to you as a person. I'd love that. I don't think I'll get someone to, but I'd love that still. Yeah.
But those are pretty much our updates. You can follow us on all the major social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I don't think we're really active on Twitter at this point, but
no.
Those ones, at least. We are on Rumble as well. So give us a like and subscribe, follow, shoot us a comment, email us at info@Resident Skeptics, I believe.
ResidentSkeptics@gmail.com.
That's right. We don't have that domain yet. Coming soon.
Another thing that we're working on, but stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you next time.